Hello team, Captain Mosman here. It's September and it's National Preparedness Month. So who better to have with us than the Installation Emergency Management Officer, Miss Nicole Roten. Welcome, Nicole. Glad to have you here.
Thank you for having me, Captain.
So Nicole, you're our Installation Emergency Management Officer. What is that role and what do you do for the shipyard and the installation?
So my role is to oversee the emergency management program, which is actually your program. I run it for you on your behalf to prepare the workforce and our facilities, our installation and our annexes for different types of hazards that could occur through training and education programs primarily. Help determine what mitigating actions might need to be put into place to reduce the impacts. For example, sandbags to stop flooding from intruding into a building would be a mitigating action. Writing response plans so that should an incident occur, we know what to do. Practicing those response plans through drills and exercises. And then helping the installation to recover back to the pre-incident status, at least as good, if not better, than we were before.
National Preparedness Month, what does that mean to you? What should it mean to any of our employees?
National Preparedness Month is an annual campaign sponsored by FEMA that targets information to families and residents of communities to give them ways to prepare for various types of emergencies that might affect themselves or their areas. It has a lot of good information there to share with them. This year's theme is to start a conversation. So having conversation about bad things that might occur is not always easy. It can be very challenging. But we recommend that families do it now before an incident or a disaster occurs so that they're not making rash decisions in the moment. Emotional decisions are not always good ones. So if we prepare now, having all of that information documented and everyone knowing where to find it is something that we should do on the front side.
And what kind of emergencies or disasters are you talking about?
Any kind of disaster that might occur. So we do a risk assessment every year for what might affect the installation. And some of those things are destructive weather is pretty high on the list. It's actually number one. Flooding is our biggest threat here at the installation, but also things like hurricanes, tropical storms, fires. Any kind of emergency that might occur is what a family should prepare against, the most probable incidents.
When you say a family should prepare, how should a family prepare? I mean, we prepare at work, and then we can talk about that in a little bit, but a lot of this is really focused on preparing at home, right? So how does someone prepare for it?
It's really very similar. So you look at your family and what your family's needs are. So you want to prepare based on what those needs and requirements are going to be. So we have three principles that we promote. One is to stay informed, have a plan is the second one, and build a kit is the third one.
So stay informed. What are good ways to stay informed?
Well, there's lots of ways. Here at work, we recommend AtHoc, which is our mass notification and warning system, and folks can sign up for that through their computers on the self-service app that allows them to input their phone numbers, emails that they want information to go to. And text messaging is one of the primary ways that we communicate because it's fastest. Other ways are through local media outlets. Our Public Affairs Office works with the local TV and radio stations to share information about the installation as far as any delays that you may have assigned or if the base is going to be closed, that type of information. They also post it on their social media sites as well as their recorded hotline, which is 757-396-9551, where the workforce can call in and get information.
You said be informed. And then have a plan. So is there a resource for people to have to figure out how to have a plan, or is that just something they need to sit at home and think about and dream up or write down? What do you mean by have a plan?
They could do it either way. There are resources available. I actually, outside the door of my office in building 1500, I have like a information rack hanging there that folks can come by and take a blank copy of a family plan that they can fill out. It's information like what the doctor's office numbers are, the veterinarian's numbers, family members' phone numbers, insurance policy numbers, phone numbers to reach the bank, muster information, all of that kind of stuff. Knowing evacuation routes, where your muster point is going to be if the family gets separated or driving separate cars, how to get in touch with people who might be waiting at the muster point to kind of be your communication source. You might not be able to get in touch with your other family members directly, but you can both possibly get in touch with the person at the muster point, and that person is like your go-between. So having that phone number, because not very many folks remember phone numbers the way we did when we were kids,
Right.
It's stored in our cell phones. And if the power is out, charging the cell phone could be a little bit, challenging. But knowing alternate routes on the plan is also good. The highways are going to get congested in an evacuation situation, so know an alternate path, a back roads kind of situation. And just knowing what to do, what decisions have been made, what information you're going to need, and what you're going to take with you.
That's good. So the last part is build a kit. So I know at my house, we call them the bug out bags.
Yep.
We go through them every year and make sure they're up to date. What do you recommend having in a kit, or how to put a kit together?
Every family has its own needs, as we've stated. So things that most people have a tendency to put in are food and water. So non-perishable foods. Water, we recommend 1 gallon of water per person per day for 3 to 5 days is the basic recommendation, and you can adjust accordingly. If you have canned goods, a can opener is a good thing to have. A lot of people forget that, and then you can't get into it if you don't have a can opener. Hand sanitizer, antibacterial wipes, plates, forks, ways to eat that food that you might have. Chargers for your phones, if you have a way to get power and plug those in, charge up your phones. Face masks, first aid kits, things to keep the kids happy. Especially if they're small, you might want coloring books or toys, a couple of things like that to keep them happy. But it'll just be based on your family's needs.
So here we are at National Preparedness Month. We've talked about building kits and being prepared and being informed, having a plan. What can our workforce do to support your efforts, support their own efforts, to be prepared?
I have an emergency management working group that is comprised of personnel from all of our tenant commands, and we meet quarterly and we discuss various items of interest as far as emergency management goes and how to kind of respond to different things. They also participate in approving verbiage within our emergency management plan, our response plan on what to do, so they contribute to that as well. Commands can also update their emergency action plans for their various facilities. And all facilities that are occupied are required to have one to make sure that the workforce knows what to do should a fire occur in their building or a bomb threat or something of that nature on what to do. We also have resources at ready.gov. That's the FEMA website. There's great handouts there, lots of great information that folks can get for their families, as well as readynavy.mil. The Navy has, CNIC has put out a site that has a lot of similar information, but it's targeted to sailors and civilians and their families. We also have NFAS, which is the Navy Family Accountability and Assessment System. It's where we muster when we have an order to account once a disaster has occurred in a specific area. You can access that through a website as well as through an app that you can download through local app store for your type of phone. And several people used it during the hurricane exercise earlier this year, and the feedback we got was it was really good. So they really liked using it. It's a quick, easy way to muster as well as tell the Navy what your family's needs are if you are in fact in a situation where you need to report something.
Right, because we don't want anybody to be left alone or unable to, wherever they might be, we want to make sure we know where they're at and see what we can do to support them and help them.
Exactly.
Well, I really appreciate you walking through how to be prepared and what it means to you, what it should mean to all of us during National Preparedness Month. And I guess from here, it's time to go get prepared.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Instructional Design Center.